My name is Glenn. I'm one of the paramedics here at Air Ambulance Northern Ireland. Go ahead and have a look around our base with me. And as you see, as we come into the base, and this is what we have at the air desk, and Stuart's looking at the air desk at the minute. So he would look at potential calls that would come in and decide what is necessary for our team to go on. We are a doctor and a paramedic team, and we go out to where critical care interventions are needed. 1 to 2 calls a day, so it's quite a hard job. It's like the heart of the service to try and find out that 1 or 2 calls to where we can go in the aircraft or the car. If you have a look at the map here, you can see where roughly we're based at this the green here where we go out, and different areas. These are the flight times to fly, or 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It's quite important to actually think about where we're going whenever we have that call, and these decisions are made in real time, so we don't spend too long here, but very important we do get it right, considering whenever the weather's quite bad. As I come through your open plan office, and here's usually the doctor, the paramedic, the pilot, and myself, and other sort of support here, and that would then be open plan room. From this, see, as you can see here, this is a couple of the map and the helmets. So just before the paramedic leaves, the paramedic would then draw a line on the map. So go right back to basics should any of the systems fail in the aircraft or the iPad. There's 3 methods of how we get to the scene. One being like the aircraft GPS, which you put into your cars. One would be the iPad, and then the map itself. So if everything fails, we go back down to the map. So we come on here through that. So in a day like today, the weather is changeable. So Dave, our pilot here, is giving the team a brief on what they expect throughout. You can see there a picture of Northern Ireland, and that's where the rain is at the minute. And then behind you there, you see our Dr. Andrew, paramedic, Caroline, and David there, who is in supporting us today. So this is our briefing room where we talk about our cases, where we talk about aviation side. Really, really important that we get this bit right, because once we're in the aircraft and once we change and the weather comes in, we think about our fuel states. This is where all the planning's done, and it's very important that we do the planning here. Because if a call comes in, then we're going to go out this door and head towards the aircraft. So come on ahead, I'll show you down here. So at this time, as a paramedic, the aircraft will be up and running. The doctor will be there, and I'd have the helmet on and the map under, and I'm thinking about where I'm going and what call I'm going to. But as we said, it's really important from an aviation aspect is that we get there safely, not just quickly. So we walk down here, and I'm always in continual communication with the air desk, because as a pre-hospital call, it may change, and we then have to decide, do we go in the car or do we go in the aircraft with that. So this would be the route down. I say it's usually the helmet will be on, quite loud, the engines will be running, and then we'll go down into it. So as we approach here, you can see our car. Our car has got all the equipment that an aircraft would have in it as well. And that's, we go out in the car should it be a close job, close proximity, or if the weather dictates that we can't fly, everything's there that we need to. A bit further on. So go into our hangar. Go on ahead. And in our sort of hangar here, you can see the spare aircraft, and then out on the actual aircraft plan is a primary aircraft. Just to your left is all our store systems and all our training kit as well. So don't be alarmed about our mannequins, and we train every day. And any procedures that we do within our patients' pre-hospital critical care interventions, it's really important that we do the training here and get that systems right. So all our training kit is exactly what we would use on the aircraft or in the car. And it's a train any calls on yesterday, the day before, that learning from the team yesterday comes into today, and that's how we keep up to date with that. You can see now in our hangar we have the spare aircraft, and the spare aircraft is used whenever the main aircraft is getting serviced. But like your car, it needs regular MOTs, and it needs fuel changes, oil changes and so forth, whether it's been flying or the amount of hours. So really important, and that's good for our training because a big part of our work is the actual patient in the aircraft, and you can't simulate that, so it's very important. It's a great learning tool for us from that. If anybody ever wonders how we get the aircraft out, this is our lift, and you can see both the aircraft have what we call skids on them, so there's no wheels, and without being wheels they need to go in. So this is like a lift, and it basically picks the aircraft up by about a foot, and then we steer it in and out. Great bit of kit from that. So as we walk towards, just here, this is our oxygen cylinders. So most of all our patients will require supplementary oxygen, and that will sort of help the lungs, helping the lungs helps the body, the brain to be oxygenated, which will promote recovery from on that. So this will be the walk we do, and so it'll be the doctor and the paramedic and the pilot, and as we approach the primary aircraft, the aircraft will be parked in a position where it's going to take off into the wind, and whenever it does take off in the wind, it helps the wind over the blades, which then in turn helps with the lift. So if you ever wonder why an aircraft parks a certain way or a helicopter parks a certain way, it's because of the wind. So. As a paramedic, so for the first thing that I would do, my focus is on the aviation aspect. I need to think about the scene we're going to. I need to think about what resources are there and what resources do I need. I then have to help the pilot with navigation, with fuel, and with communications. So whilst we're going to a critical patient who's seriously injured or ill, my focus primarily at this time is on the aircraft safety and getting us there. As we go into the back, the doctor would sit in this seat, and the doctor doesn't have any main input into the actual flight leaving here, but very important, you can see it left, you can see it right, and he is facing backwards. Both the people in the front are facing forwards, so all three of us have got an important role in the aircraft. So we've got our ventilator, and our ventilator basically breathes for the patient. The oxygen goes in, it's then we can control the oxygen, and the oxygen then goes to the patient. A really important bit of kit that you would normally see in intensive care or in your emergency departments. Behind this is our defibrillator, and our defibrillator monitor looks at blood pressure, looks at heart rate, looks at what the body's doing, because there is times our patients are sedated or anaesthetized, and the only way we can get an accurate reading of what's going on is by watching this. The bits of kit we have is our ultrasound, and ultrasound can actually look into the chest and tell us what the lungs are doing and if there's any fluid. Really good important kit for pre-hospital. And then our kit at the back, we've got our medical packs, which roughly weigh about 14 kilograms, and our blood as well. We carry blood, which is a big changer for us. Giving pre-hospital blood can make a big difference for somebody who has severe internal or external bleeding, so that's really good for us to be able to do that, and that's only recently come in from that. Not much space, as you can see, so most of our interventions we need to be done outside of the aircraft, and once the patient comes in, they'll be lying here, and with my seat as a paramedic we'll be facing rearwards, so the paramedic and the doctor, and then with the pilots flying forward, and we'll be linked into the communications box, and then getting us to the patient to definitive care. So that's really it. This is us in EC135, and that's a bit of an